Are you a victim? Victim mentality is a very dominant mentality in the world we live in today. Weirdly enough, we seem to find that victim mentality is more dominant in the developed countries than undeveloped countries. I can give an example from my own life when I was becoming a refugee from Bosnia and even living through the war in Bosnia, that I never felt like a victim throughout that time. And then when I came to UK as a refugee, I started noticing that I was feeling like a victim in a developed country, and I was being treated like a victim in a developed country. Oh, you came here as a refugee. I'm really sorry. That must have been really tough on you. And I could never really reconcile this because, yes, of course, war is tough, but the notion of toughness is very relative to the life experience that one is having in an emotional sense. Although there were extreme cases of fear, threat, suffering during the war in Bosnia, throughout that time I never felt like a victim because that was not my mental choice. Yet when I came to UK, I was being bombarded by this externally imposed or applied self-identification of a refugee, which is a form of a victim. It took me a long time to understand what was happening psychologically and why I was feeling empowered during the war in Bosnia, even when I was sleeping rough as a refugee, and I felt disempowered in a developed country where I could have tapped into anything I wanted to, but I was being told that I couldn't because I'm a refugee and I'm a foreigner and I'm this and I'm that. So I had constant upbringing in UK where I was constantly being told that I am less than I originally thought I was. Through 25 years of living in UK, this brought me to clinical depression, to suicidal thoughts, because I had to live, or I thought I had to live, with this externally imposed victim identity. When I started to consciously stop saying that I'm a refugee from Bosnia and define myself as a Earth being or a citizen of planet Earth, just like we all are, it started putting me back on the firm ground that we are all walking on. We're all alive on the same planet. We all have ability to tap into the same resources like everyone else. It just takes a little bit of extra thinking to work out how to do that and the best path, most integrated path towards that, whether we need to make it ourselves or whether we need to work with somebody else who already has certain resources that they've built out by themselves and for themselves. And so I find that some of the most successful people in this world that I've met are still a victim in their minds. I've worked with billionaires who still think that they're being hard done by the government in the country. I've met multi-millionaires who still think that they're oppressed by their family and that they have no say in their family as the person, the particular part, the particular role that they're playing, whether that's a mom or dad or brother or sister, auntie, uncle, etc. People become professional victims in their own rights, and it's got nothing to do with money and what they own. It's all to do with the mind and the psychology. So if you want to move from being a victim to being more of an integrated, self-determined person that is self-identified the way you want to be, reach out to me and let's talk about Fresh Mind program, or check it out on freshmind.life.